3 special daily races in America. First one in Watkins Glen with a victory, the 4th in our competitive career, one left to get the status of an ace. Then we get to Road America with another victory, the 5th one, so we are ace now and get some special markings on our livery to celebrate the accomplishment. But then, during the next week, we have a daily race in Interlagos, the perfect opportunity for using the celebration livery and maybe getting our 6th victory, which would be even more special winning at home. Can we get the P1 at Interlagos? Let's see how all the 3 races developed. Weapons clear! Salute and welcome to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, and as you may remember from the episode number 4 of the Mission Gran Turismo 7, I only raced the dailies once. I consider them as important as any other official event. If you haven't seen the episode number 4 yet, I'll leave the card for it here on the top right corner and in this video's description. I explain the logic behind this choice there. So, in order to achieve the best result possible, I really must give my best in every race. We'll get started in the 3rd position here in Watkins Glen, and we must use both the soft and hard tires. Then I opted to start the race with the soft ones so I can fight for positions right at the beginning. This is gonna be important as the pole position, the Argentinian driver in the BMW M6, was way faster than me during the free practice, and my lap times weren't much different from the drivers on the top of the grid, so I expect a difficult race here. The Brazilian driver in the M3 tries to dive, almost hits me there, but we escape the contact and get out of the turn 1 strong and on pursuit. The Mustang's Coyote V8 shows its power here, and we close in as we go up turns 2 and 3 while the 2 in front of us fight. There is contact, the Porsche hits the wall and almost hits me. I even released the throttle a bit and pulled left, but I got lucky not to get hit and not to lose contact with the driver in P1. We pass by the bus stop and I attack the M6 as we go down to turn 6. Turn 7, I find the space and get inside line, almost get hit by the Porsche driver, but again I get lucky and sustain the position, keeping on my line and get ahead of the BMW. We get a P1 and now we must sustain it. Turn 8, and as we exit it, we can see the M6 driver is using the hard tires, so we have an advantage and we'll try to use it in our favor, opening the gap as much as we can now. Now, if it's your first time here on the Fighter Driver channel and you found this content interesting and useful, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell button so you can follow us and be notified every time there's a new video or content here in the channel. You can also hit the like button, leave us a comment telling us what you think about our job here, and finally share this content with your friends if you think they'll like it. Fast and easy, you accomplish this mission and help us a lot by doing so. We appreciate all your support. We could open a very good gap by the end of lap number 4. As we cross the line, the gap will be more than 8 seconds. But the tire wear for this race was absurdly high. By the way, this is something I really dislike about the model Gran Turismo 7 keeps for its races. Those multipliers for tires and fuel shouldn't exist. By the way, what's your opinion about it? Do you think those multipliers are good stuff, or like me, you think there might be other ways to explore it and make the races more interesting and professional? Leave me a comment telling what you think. But I'm diverting, let's get back to the race. The Argentinian driver in the M6 makes his stop now, so he's going to 6 laps on soft tires, so he will be very fast now, but will suffer in the final 2 laps of the race. The tire wear makes the difference. As you can see in my lap times, I'm basically losing 0.5 seconds every lap in relation to my fastest one, which was the lap number 2, but I decided to keep the car on track and complete 5 laps with those tires, as the difference between the soft ones and the hard ones was around 2 seconds for me. I must just be careful not to make any silly mistake and get the car to the pits now. Was hard, my frontal left tire got completely worn by the end of the lap, but I made it. I struggled to keep the car inside the pit entry line and not to get penalized, but I got it. Now let's see our difference to the Argentinian driver on the M6, as he or she is the real threat to me. Other drivers will stop on this lap, but some drivers will keep on and will get back in third. I'm not worried about it, as those drivers will stop before the race ends. And if they don't, well, they will be penalized, as the 2 tire compounds are mandatory. The Argentinian driver on the M6 is the one who can take the victory from us now. We leave the pits about 4.5 seconds in front of the AMG P4, but again, they'll have to stop soon, so now I must be careful and do the best I can with the hard tires. It's a fact that I'll lose time in relation to the drivers behind me, especially the M6 driver in P8, but if I can hold a good pace till the end, there is a chance that I keep the first place in the podium. End of lap 6, the 2 drivers in P1 and P2 stop, so I get a P1 back. The drivers who didn't stop yet also come in, and the Argentinian driver reassumes P2, has soft tires and will hunt me around the track, trying to recover the first place. The gap between us is about 9.7 seconds in the beginning of lap number 7, but he is reducing his gap relatively fast. By the end of lap number 7, the gap reduced to 5.7 seconds and is closing, but we still have 3 laps to go. The questions are, can I resist till the end? Can his tires resist till the end in a good condition so he can keep pushing and threatening me? Lap 8, turn 8, we already have the M6 driver in visual contact. He's closing and closing fast, and we still have 2 laps to go. We go round turn 10, there is a car returning to the track after an incident, and it does so right in front of us, the Ghost saving us from a crash. The M6 driver also meets it on the way, but passes by it and keeps on pursuit. We're gonna close lap 8 now, and then there will be 2 to go. My lap time on lap 7 was 1:49.799, 3 seconds more than my fastest. The hard tires are really losing performance here, but we had a better lap now, 1:48.932, and our gap to P2 is 3.9 seconds. So it seems there will be a fight for P1 in the end. I must resist it. I'm being conservative here, as I'm also suffering with the tire wear. And if the hard tires lose grip when new, afterward they get even worse. So I hope that if I'm cautious and don't make any silly mistakes, I can keep in front enough to make the M6 driver wears the tires to the point he can't push anymore. Remember, he or she stopped after lap 4, so even if the M6 has a better tire wear than the Mustang, we're talking about 1 entire lap more, and with the absurd 6 times wear we have for this race, I don't believe it will last enough. We can see the P2 drivers struggling to keep the car on track as we exit turn 8, almost losing it there. also overshoot the exit a bit and get my tires on the dirt. Luckily, I don't get any penalties, which would be even worse. But that mistake cost me my lap time now being 150.1. I'm not being directly attacked by the M6 driver now just because of that mistake, which cost them some time as well, the gap now being 4 seconds. I must resist for one more lap. I'm losing more time to them as I go through those lower corners, but compensate the loss when on the fastest parts of the track. But we can hold it and finish in P1, 3 seconds ahead of the P2, who raced very well and really posed a threat on me in the end. Good driving there, pal. Now, if you haven't watched the previous episodes of our Mission Gran Turismo, I'll recommend you to watch the full playlist so you can follow our entire journey from the beginning after watching this race. And if Air Combat Sim is your thing, you can also watch the Mission War Thunder playlist. Cards here on the top right corner and the links in this video's description. Now, today's second race in Road Atlanta. Unfortunately, I couldn't save the replay, something went wrong, and the replay isn't just there. Luckily, I always record the screen directly during the races, so we have the race from my perspective. I personally don't think the direct camera is so good, but I want to know from you. Do you prefer it from this direct perspective, or you prefer it edited from the replay? Leave me a comment telling me how you think it's better. If most of you guys prefer the direct perspective, I can modify the videos from now on. Now, we start this race from the pole position, but there are many MR cars behind us, and some will say the MR cars have an advantage on this track, which I believe, but we'll try to take the best the Mustang has to offer here and hold the P1. There will be only 7 laps, which is too little for this very fast track, I mean a track with a short lap time as it is. We start well and faster than the Porsche in P2, but the Porsche can go around the corners way better than us and gets closer again, really fast. We pass by the SS and go towards turn 7. Here again I increase the gap to P2, so we see the Coyote V8 shows its power on the straights. The Porsche driver loses it as they exit turn 8, and now I get a reasonable gap between myself and the rest of the pack. So if I don't make any silly mistake, we have a good chance of winning here. By the way, one of our followers here on the channel was on this race driving a yellow Corvette. Too bad the replay failed, Railfan227. I hope we can have more races together, and next time you will be on screen with us. And of course, you guys can add my PSN ID to your friends list so we can be on track together anytime practicing or racing together. It will be a pleasure and an honor. End of lap 1 and our gap to P2 is more than 1 second now. As I enter turn 3, touch my tires on the grass and almost lose the entry to the S's. It will make me lose some time as I go down the S's, but not enough to be threatened by the drivers behind. As we get to the opposite straight, the gap to P2 is oscillating between 1.2 and 1.5 seconds. So let's try no more silly mistakes and search for some consistency here. By the way, we're using medium tires and there will be no stops for this race. So we close lap 2, 1.4 seconds ahead with the fastest lap, and there will be no more big mistakes from now on. So our gap to P2 starts increasing. As we get to the opposite straight again, our gap is already 3 seconds, so let's focus and concentrate. Lap 3 closed, lap time 1.19.6, more than 3 seconds ahead, so it's just keeping the pace now. End of lap 4, our lap time now is 1.20.0, so the pace is good, but something must have happened back there, as P2 now is more than 5 seconds behind. End of lap 5, we keep our lap time to 1.20.3, with a gap to P2 bigger than 7 seconds. I believe they are fighting really hard for this P2 now. End of lap 6, lap time 1.20.4, so pretty consistent lap times here, and the gap to P2 is now over 8 seconds, so it's just not making any mistake, and the 5th victory is ours. It ain't easy to drive the Mustang around this track with the joypad, especially on the S's on the slowest corners. I can just imagine how faster I could be if driving with a wheel. One of the wheel manufacturers could sponsor us. I know I'm the underdog here and I'm not the best pilot, but that's why it would be so nice. You could help the underdog to reach a really good competitive level and fight against the top dogs. A friend of mine is a really talented driver. We used to race together as a team not long ago. I believe there are many guys like that around the world who don't get there for the lack of investment. Or maybe you guys could help us get in there by helping the channel grow bigger and stronger, so we get more visibility and maybe in the future get the investment needed and bring y'all better content every time there's a new video here on the channel. So don't forget to leave us your like, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and share this content with your friends. We appreciate all of your support. This is so important to us. End of the final lap with our 5th victory is there. According to the naval aviation tradition, a fighter who gets 5 victories becomes an ace. So ace we are, 5 victories in 9 races. We're very happy with this accomplishment and made some special markings on our livery to celebrate the event, again following the Navy's tradition. But during the week after, we had the chance of getting one more victory, this time at home with the daily race in Interlagos. racing at home with chances of another victory and with our special markings livery. What an event! Again, I'll put my best efforts and try to bring this extra victory at home so we can complete 10 races with 6 victories and level up our logbook. I already got the pole position and we are about to start the race. Interlagos is also a very fast track with the lap time around 1 minute 30-ish seconds, maybe even faster for the top tier drivers, but we'll race 6 laps with hard tires here, no need to stop and no multiplier. We have some pretty fast cars behind us, a Porsche and a Beetle who may be a threat to us right in the beginning, and we have the race start. The Porsche driver comes very fast, but the Beetle driver finds some space and takes the inside line, assuming P2, but we keep the P1 as we go down the opposite straight, and the Coyote V8 shows its power and we get some distance from the rest of the pack. As we get to the Cida do Lago turns, the Porsche driver loses the car and falls back, but the Beetle driver keeps on pursuit. He tries to get closer for a dogfight as we drive through the slowest part of the circuit, but we are very focused and keep our position. Also fighting against a Huracan driver who came to try and get the P2, so it will help me open some gap as we go up the main straight. We finished lap 1 with a 1.1 seconds gap to the Beetle on P2. I'm keeping an eye to the rear mirrors, but I'm very focused and will try not to make any mistakes, as I won this victory at home. So follow me, let's watch a lap around Interlagos from the inside the cockpit's perspective. So we finish the lap number 2 and we'll keep the lead until the end. But as we're about to open lap 6, the weather gets sunnier, so we'll have the final lap to show the new livery around the circuit. and getting our 5th victory, it gets even better, getting the 6th victory at home with our special livery. And I dedicate this victory to my son, Heitor, who completed 4 years of life on the last Sunday, October 29th. You, my son, are my best and most precious victory and prize. I love you more than everything and anything. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you did so, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends who like Gran Turismo 7 and sim racing. Also, consider subscribing to the channel with the notifications bell activated so you'll receive the notifications every time there's a new video here on the channel. I appreciate you who followed me so far, salute, and I see you on the next mission. Bravo Zulu!